promote myself, no one else is, right? Hey, at least I promoted you as well. I'm not selfish.
Thanks, brother.
We appreciate it.
Here we go into the second map then, and oh, Pancakes. Living up to that name, he takes a shock dart right to the face, down to 21 HP already.
Yep, that is unfortunate. A little bit of a clothesline type experience there, as they're looking to try to keep hammering away at this A site, but oh, that shock dart from Poach could be absolutely brutal. They're actually able to get away from it. But this A defense is starting to get reinforced here. And it's going to be a thing to crack now for BBG. They're starting to reconsider. Actually have shoved the spike back over to top middle. They're looking to get a little bit of mid control. Just try to instill some doubt in the opposition. Maybe even set up for something else. But I feel like the A split is still the goal.
It definitely does feel that way. They're trying to hit both main and Cat simultaneously, and now the utility starting to come in. The Nebula will be clearing momentarily. Will is hiding in there with a frenzy. This is going to be a bit of a nightmare. Could come down to timing, and it's Pancakes, albeit on a low HP, that still strikes first. Guck is put down, but so are some of his teammates. Player advantage in favor of EZ5 as the spike plant was denied momentarily, but will be put down all the same.
Indeed, they maintain that man advantage. They also have Poach, very low HP. Critical going to line up a shock dart over towards Heaven. Yeah, he's going to be able to back off. They have utility on the spike to disrupt diffuses. They still have the turret spotting the Heaven cross as well. So it's going to be a tough one for BBG here. Really going to rely on some type of just brutal shot from them to get back into this.
Kanpeki from downtown trying to make this one work. They nearly lined up for the frenzy, but instead it's Poach and Bjor that strike hard. Both players low over on the defense side of things, and it's Critical that finishes off both of them with a 3k on top of it. And EZ5 will claim first blood, but they did, of course, concede the first map.
Yeah, that is definitely a great start for EZ5. Again, this is kind of their map, their home turf advantage, if there is one in video games. Just having that 90% win rate on this map, winning their last 9 games in a row, having good fluency on both sides of the map, and that was a great pistol where they just got good control, had an advantage from the rip, had some great post-plant utility in place on Spike to make it tough on BBG to really get much out of it. And so they will be rewarded with this round, where they'll be able to get the Spectres out against pretty much a save out of BBG. So a great chance for a 2-0 lead, as one would expect. No crazy 4 spies this time around.
Something so satisfying about listening to just the Spectre rattle off bullets in the distance, but no damage or kills coming behind it. Oh, but the damage to Sova, I'm not quite sure what happened there. I think he was tagged up through middle. May have been a shock dart, actually. But he's very low now.
Yeah, not sure myself, as we are now seeing EZ5 begin to gather up once again outside A. No defense in place on site. Both players playing towards Garden. Again, having to kind of play for a bit more of a retake, which again is sometimes the norm for this map on this site. We're able to get a little bit of a shock on all their on one player with the shorty, so trying to make this interesting. Still going to be a tough ask with Calm holding this position.
Alarm bot triggered, but destroyed. Equally as fast. Com's going to have the free B onto Bjor's. Not going to be checking his close angles. Not doing his due diligence and getting punished as a result. EZ5, though, trying to hold on to the site, as in BBG come. It's the shorty once again. Kanpeki, in the meanwhile, though, putting down the pain and misery as 4 kills in the blink of an eye come down, and EZ5 pick up 2 in a row.
Yeah, that was labored, though. I mean, BBG had their chances there. Again, you saw Will getting a couple of frags out there with that shorty, making it interesting. I believe they also had claimed a Spectre that was down the site by the generator, and so they could have, started putting that to use as well. So it got a little bit dicey there for a second, but all in all, in the end, it will be the 2-0 that we expected. And again, also just noting this swap between Will and Rarkar. It was the other way around the previous map, and now it's Will on the Jet and Rarkar on this guy. So I do wonder how that decision is made. If it's just more comfortable on a certain map. Most teams would elect to just have, that consistency as someone always playing the sky. So it's kind of a neat feature, I guess, of BBG.
Do you think it could just be that it's a case of Rarkar prefers AWPing on Haven as opposed to Ascent, where maybe Will prefers to take it?
I don't know.
And obviously, you're going to take a lot of operators when it comes to Jet.
I can't really think of another team in the region that does this. I mean, normally if you're a Jet player, you're the Jet player. You know what I mean? Like, the only exception would be, like, Shazam and Tins rotating it on Sentinels. But, yeah, I don't know.
Intriguing prospect, but what we do know in this third round is it's traded 1-for-1 early doors and middle. Will give the slight advantage perhaps to EZ5, although they are on inferior weaponry. Some Spectres still in play. Obviously, their bonus is coming to fruition. Just shy of 45 seconds as they start to make a move through on the B main side of the map.
Indeed, making that shuffle over now, smoking the back halls, coming in, paranoying the corner, dashing in, trying to chase down Poach. Poach getting back into the site though with cover. Bjork covering him from the boathouse. Big shot onto Kanpeki. BBG trying to stay out in front here, Vince.
They most certainly are, but now the cards come crumbling down. Bjork is still alive, but not for much longer as Com gets a third. And although time is low, it should be enough to get the spike down. This will give Trill an opportunity to maybe reposition to a better avenue of aggression for that retake. And indeed he will. But with utility left and right, alarm bots being put down, he has to make a noise. He has to allow them that opportunity. And now the lockdown is in position. He knows he's living on borrowed time. If he's going to strike, it needs to be the next few moments. They're doing such a good job of just keeping him busy. Lockdown destroyed, but now makes him vulnerable, and it's come with a 4K. The bonus round comes good, and it's a 3-0 lead.
Great endurance there from EZ5, Vince. I mean, BBG initially were doing pretty good on the defense. Like, Poach was staying alive. They had their back boathouse player able to make some things happen. It was seeming like they were maybe going to defend this, but then Com and company just come roaring through. Com was with the hat trick there. And so winning their bonus, that's big because it just gives you so much more leverage economically going forward. You get to just keep rolling those Spectres forward on some players if need be. You can go ahead and pick up some Phantoms for free off fallen players. It just sets you up so nicely, Vince, to have that early advantage. And when you're already a map down, and elimination is on the line when you're EZ5 right now. There is no second chances in these playoffs. This is exactly the start they needed.
Oh, it absolutely is. To play devil's advocate, you could say they started this well in the previous map and things went pear-shaped, but it was a very different circumstance. Because it is a very different circumstance. I'm almost playing devil's advocate to my devil's advocate.
Why? But why?
Because
why
some
can't
people
we just
want to see
enjoy
the
this
world
together
burn.
and have nice things? Well, the world's already doing enough burning, Vince. We're supposed to be bringing joy to people, okay? I don't know if you're aware of what's going on out in the world, but, you know, let's try to bring some joy. As we are going to indeed see EZ5 looking to pummel this B site once more. They get a little bit of chip damage on their way. They're definitely getting found out, but still able to break through.
Poach stuck behind dark cover, and there's shock darts, everything being flung in his direction. They want to try and take this mid-control as the doors begins to close, but it's closing more so on BBG's prospects of clutching this round, albeit on a pretty rough purchase. Sheriff's in play. A lineup perfect from Critical as he pins in for 2. And Pancakes seals the deal. 4-0 lead.
I wonder what a pancake would be, Vince. Like, if you were to visualize a pancake. I know what a pancake is, and we know what all other types of cakes are, but what would a pancake be? Is it just like a normal cake, but with, like, things in it that hurt? Like, I don't... Like,
yeah, I feel like it would be like a cake filled with Carolina Reaper sauce or something, you know?
Okay, I'm glad you've taken, like, the most mild approach you've taken. That's appreciate, like, really do. Yeah, I guess you could say that. That would be interesting. A savory, spicy cake.
The initial taste, oh, it's nice, and then suddenly the spice hits you. Ooh,
how did
the operator shot not hit? That looked dead on.
Bro, I need a slow-mo replay of that. We need that no matter what happens from this point forward. I need to know.
Maybe moved just before he shot, not sure, but here comes the Hunter's Fury. Pancakes making this a spicy endeavor on the approach, but the utility is so good that it's forced back EZ5 for the time being. Seeker's also tossed in with a guiding light on top of it, and they've done a good job here. BBG have forced back the aggression.
Yeah, really well done. Like you said, it's still a 4-on-4. EZ5 do still have a null command available to attack with, which will... Actually, I imagine they'll kind of save it for post-plant. Try to make it harder for people to retake when you're not going to be able to hit your utility onto the site if you're getting nulled. Actually, no, DIVIZE will just to make sure they have an easier time not getting countered by utility on their way to the site. Unfortunately for him, it's already open, so the null command's not really having much impact. But hey, it's a good insurance policy just to make sure. You never know. And then they will indeed get on there. They'll get plant down. Trill trying to get a spam through the smoke. Not quite going to happen, so we just kind of will settle into a 4-on-4 retake now, Vince.
Yeah, things calming down somewhat, which is not necessarily great news for BBG, because now they have to be the interference players. They've got to try and impose their will and crack open this defense. It's now being put up by EZ5 with 4 rounds behind it as well. It will feel like it's reinforced steel. Critical, though, puts down the bullets. 2 headshots as 2 bodies drop. But there's a Blade Storm in play, and Will wants to get up close and personal. The guiding light is good. Arakar's follow-up damage is nearly even better. But they survive, and EZ5 with another round put in their column.
Yeah, they are crushing it right now on this attacking side of Ascent. Again, a map that's been their bread and butter since this roster has come together. And yeah, here we go. Bruh. Oh, he did just move, didn't he?
Oh, that's unlucky.
Oh my goodness. That's so close. It wasn't as close as I thought, but still fairly close.
That's its super slow motion, though.
Yeah, that is like the slowest of motion.
To the normal eye,
Enhance.
that looked dead on for me, but
it's
yeah.
the enhance factor, you know? You remember
Great
that
job
from
by
like
the
all these old
production.
shows where people just, yeah, absolutely, Nerd Street's the best, but you know, like those old shows where they would just be like, enhance, like on every crime show you've ever seen in your life. You're like, dude, there's no camera in the world that enhances that much, dude. They were doing it like back in the 80s. Wasn't it like Blade Runner where they were like able to do that as well with like a computer that looked like a freaking refrigerator?
I remember that on Star Trek, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I remember
dude.
Picard.
Well, at least that makes sense for I mean, they're flying in outer space. I think
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
you know, camera zoom in is probably the least of your questions that you're going to have about that setting. But yeah, anyway. While we can't enhance to crazy levels, we can give you the slow-mo, and that was a tough one. That's a tough one as well. That's a banana peel you don't want to be slipping on, Vince.
That definitely didn't miss. It was definitely
You know what's
straight in
weird?
the head.
Is slipping on banana peels is not nearly as common as you would think. In fact, I almost think it never happens. Just like falling into quicksand. Cartoons definitely made that a lot more dangerous than it really is. You know what else is dangerous? This defense.
It's looking good. This could be their first round. Finally, they get some success, or perhaps not. Com is keeping this round just about alive. And by a slither, he will pivot in again from a 2v4 to a 2-on-2 and a post plant on top of it in a few moments. Or perhaps not. They're actually going to go in from the shadows instead. And he's faking it. He's drawing them out, but instead he gets plucked out from Rakar's Sheriff. He's not falling for it. And our time is so low. Out comes the spike, and it is going to be the frag and the round.
It's one of those situations where you almost feel like maybe he overthought it. You know, like obviously if he goes over to B, he can plant, but then he's leaving his teammate stranded, and he's at best going to be stuck with a 1v1 on B site. Maybe, you know, his teammate somehow gets away, but it's unlikely, so he tries to double back, but just BBG not biting on it. They just hold their ground. They basically get a 2-on-1 as he's still figuring out how to complete that ult. And it gives BBG their first round of the game.
Get out of my way.
Still a pretty sad state of affairs when you've only got 1 round on the defense, so we're moving into the 7th. That's going to have to change quickly. Bladestorm already from Kanpeki, though, as he's trying to make a move outside of middle. No one home for the time being, although a dark cover was put down into Catwalk.
I mean, might want to get rid of that. It does indeed give your location away quite a lot.
It's just stubbornness at this point. It's like, I will just the entire round just have that in me. Just the whole
That
time.
would be wild. As we are going to see a lockdown in place here on A site. There is a sliver, of course, that you can see Will's able to play in that corner, be safe from it, maybe still get a shot off, and then cross back. Even if he gets detained, he can be covered. And there it is. And he's going to just completely avoid that. And so this lockdown gets basically no value. They do get some control of A site, but they're a man down now. This is getting a little bit scary. So they are going to come in for a plant. Problem is there's a lockdown available for the retake as well. So
30 seconds left.
Godspeed, EZ5.
No, absolutely. The paranoia is good, at least. It landed on all 4 players and forced them back for a couple of moments. And with Kanpeki's Bladestorm still up and available, albeit no longer, there's maybe a path if he could have connected to one of those heads. Now here comes the lockdown from the defense. EZ5 are going to have to hold on for dear life and buckle themselves in. But Guk comes out with that Phantom, and he's got blood. in his eyes. Pancakes also steps up to the plate, and it started so rough, but it ended so sweet for EZ5. A 6th on the board already.
Yeah, I mean, that's so tough for BBG. I mean, Will's getting opening pick. He's giving you a 5-on-4. The lockdown gets countered, basically, of EZ5, or it gets riddled, you know, just useless in a way. It gives him some side control, but it doesn't get the intended effect. And then, now you have EZ5 with man advantage for a retake, and you're thinking, or excuse me, BBG with man advantage for a retake, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, they can lock down site. As long as they can control garden, they're going to push EZ5 back into A main, and then you can trap them behind that Great Divide that you still have sitting there over on Trill. And that could have been the retake done and dusted, but instead, great move by Guck through garden, holds off that portion of the retake, is proactive, and gets EZ5 yet another victory.
It's like they're turning their attention very quickly as they tap the button, locking the door down of mid-market. Looking to try and get aggressive is Campeki, using that dark cover as his sanctuary. Only threads the eye of the needle. A timing could not have been better. 2 kills, and they know exactly where Bjor is. He's fooling nobody with this position, but the flash comes out, blinding multiple players. But it's Bjor that is sent packing. And with that, EZ5 secure a 7-1 lead, and they are making this look simple.
Yeah, I mean, it's whether it's just clean takes and just pure domination on fragging, or whether it's holding down the post plant. They're checking all the boxes on this attacking side. Big games coming out of pretty much the entire lineup at this point. They're out-fragging everyone in BBG man for man all the way down the roster. Making all the big plays when it's required. A lot of ults in play for BBG this round, though, so might be able to do something a little bit aggressive here with those Seekers, or looks like they are looking to try to attack into B main here, Vince. Shock Dart to try to push back to set up the forward angle. Oh, if you're calm, you're fuming.
I repeat, mate.
Oh,
nice.
Will.
There we go. Well, that's more like it.
My goodness, sir. Getting jiggy with it. Please tell me you get that one.
Of course, Will Smith's
Thank
a legend.
God. All right.
I was just appreciating it, you know. I was appreciating it. Like, of course, when you hear that, you can only hear the song in your head, right?
No.
Exactly. Copyrighted now, of course. DMC, unlucky Nerd Street. Dust has done you dirty there.
Indeed, I have. It's the Wild Wild West out here.
Oh, jeez.
One of his weaker moments, if we're honest.
The movie sucked, but I do love the song. I'm not gonna lie.
The soundtrack was quite grim too, Vince. Let's be real.
Bruh.
Right down there with Welcome to Miami. Anyway, let's get into some Valorant now.
BBG have a good opportunity to get their second round, but not for the first time. Pancakes is giving them a lifeline. Trill will shut it down, though. From main, he pounces with 2. And although it won't be a third, Will collect his third. And BB collect their second. They've got a lot more work to do, though, before this half is over if they want to get close.
Yeah, 3 rounds left to play, and they could use all of them at this point, Vince. I mean, especially considering EZ5, a near 60% win rate on both sides of the map of Ascent when you look at their track record over the last couple of months, which means that they're already getting up to this number. They're more than capable than closing on the defense. They've shown that consistency on this map time and time again. Meanwhile, I mean, usually BBG stronger on the defensive side by a few percentage points. To see them down this low is quite grim. Yeah, they had the map safety net of having won our opener on Haven with a crazy comeback to boot. So definitely showing you that they had that mental fortitude, but right now they're kind of getting bulldozed as we are going to see another heavy A attack in play. There is some utility in place to perhaps make it a bit difficult for them to get the spike down safely. This Hunter's Fury also going to disrupt things. It gets a tag. Can it get a frag? Not quite. Null command comes out. Site gets cleared. It's going to be one of those other classic 5-on-5 retakes, Vince.
Oh, we've had quite a few of these, haven't we? They've typically fared very well for EZ5. No damage really inflicted to the defense here on this retake. A little bit to a few players, but now here comes another Hunter's Fury. And the Prey very nearly becomes the Killjoy, just narrowly escaping death. But look at how much time they've wasted, and they've still got good positions. Poach now, though, does pincer in and bag himself one. Every player is chipping in and showing their hand, and this is looking so good for BBG. What a retake. They only lost 1 player in the process.
What a play there. What a great retake. What a good use of daggers is probably one of the biggest things you're going to pull out of that. And it just comes off the back of Will making the big move, swinging off of that heaven rafter, and just looking like the Fresh Prince that the team needed to start getting back into this half.
Turret out. Recalling my bot.
What's up, buddy? You all right?
No, yeah, I'm just chilling, just enjoying the show.
Yeah. Just didn't know if you were having 6 degrees separation from your microphone there, if you were still here with us.
Man, how many more of these do you have up your sleeve?
I'm not sure, man. We'll have to figure it out.
Early mid control, though. Big established from EZ5, and again, they do have Kampeki getting up close. BBG really have been struggling in this defense half, but at least they've strung together a couple rounds in recent memory. It does give you a little bit of hope of maybe things to come. Does seem like EZ5 are slowing the pace down, though. They're slowing things down to see if BBG will blink first.
Yeah, I kind of wonder what the adjustment is. I mean, we've seen a lot of fast-paced attacks with just kind of feinting or recommitting to these like heavy side executes. We haven't really seen them implement like a lot of deeper mid control, for example, which is kind of another staple of this map that can be implemented to like threaten, you know, that market position, threaten defensive back hauls, and make it a little bit harder for defenses to feel comfortable rotating or have a lay of the land, so to speak. And we are indeed kind of seeing that happen right now. You are seeing Kampeki kind of play over towards that opening part of middle. He can be either an early aggression at market or a later backstab to try to help pinch this B side, as that's definitely the intended target. There is a dangerous crossfire, though, kind of in place, but a great utility to clear Will out of that corner.
They've cleared him out, but they've also cleared away a couple of frags, and the cobwebs have been put down in position. Kampeki and Will, both the Jets getting in on the action, but now Raka shows his hand with the sky. Through the smokes, they will be pushing, but time is running scarce. 13 seconds, and only 2 players remain. Make it 1, make it 0. BBG with 3 rounds on the board in quick succession, and EZ5 will be hoping, please God, not again.
Yeah, that might start lingering there in the back of their minds. That is certain. Great shutdown here from BBG, Rarkar being a big element of it. There was a lot of trading going on over towards the front of the site and market position, but in the end, Rarkar and company able to bunker down in on that site and get the job done. Also big on Will to be able to escape. You know, he's definitely getting hit pretty hard in that corner by some of that opposing utility, but able to, you know, stay alive and get something going.
Oh, Kampeki got absolutely wrecked by all that utility, even though popping the Blade Storm and gets one with the Phantom. Poach's spray lets him down at the end, but he did more than enough damage in the process. He can rest easy knowing his teammates now have a great opportunity to take this final round of the half and actually make it a respectable half at that if they can get it done.
Ooh! What an aggressive little move there from Will. He's definitely starting to feel it. As now Guck is the only man left here with the spike. He's having a bad time. He's stewing. He gets one on his way out, but is still silent. So a big comeback from BBG. Here in this first half, a cold start, but now making a game of it, keeping that 2-0 dream still an option on the table. We'll see if they can keep it up after this short break.
It's time to get back underway in our second half of our second map, with a place in the quarterfinals up for grabs after a ridiculous comeback in the first map here, Dust. EZ5 maybe having a quick look over their shoulder, because maybe history's about to repeat itself.
Yeah, that is definitely maybe one concern that perhaps could be lingering out there. So we'll just have to kind of see how it plays out. Obviously, this pistol could be a big step to continue that momentum if you're BBG. Are going to see them look to put that heavy pressure on B lobby early. It's obviously detected very quickly by that utility of Calm, but they are not necessarily looking to give up on this. They've cleared out logs to the Nano Swarm. They know that that's good. They just need to try to bust open this left side.
Oof, that's going to sting. VIRTUOSO already been put down and pummeled, and Will at least comes back. Alarm bot was also triggered in amongst all of that, and BBG decide, yeah, screw this is too hot. Let's just go and head over on the A play, where Poach is already lurking. So this A site is looking very much open for business now for BBG.
Absolutely. Great clearing of garden position here by Poach. Going to be able to maintain that and even play catwalk to defend against that rotation that would be used by EZ5 for a retake. They still need to make sure they can actually get Slight, though, and defend Heaven. They're using some great utility to trap Kanpeki and flash him, but he's able to dash away. In the meantime, Poach reinforces that control of Garden, giving them safe passage to get this spike down and give a man advantage for the post plan.
30 seconds.
It's also funneled all these defenders into a bottleneck, and that allows Will to pivot in with two, and the frenzy will be just dismantling this defense. There's another one for its 4K. BBG perfectly reading the situation.
Absolutely. What a brilliant play there. Great redirection when times got tough on B, and just really Poach making some crafty maneuvers over at Garden. Will also just having a hell of a game. Think about through that whole comeback with the cold start, being down 0-5, and then ultimately they come back, they win 5 of the last 7, and Will winds up with 20 frags. Big news for BBG if they can keep that up, as they should find themselves in 7th round here against the low by EZ5, and BR already catching the aggression of Critical, a former teammate, put on the floor.
I do love to see that Guardian used well. It's such a clean weapon, such a satisfying gun to get frags with, but yeah, you're on the money. It's absurd that he's landed so many frags.
Gives you that M1 Grand feel from like classic shooters.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
There is actually one of those skins in this game.
Yep.
So does the ping and everything, I think.
I need to get that. I need that in my life, Dust.
Well, I have to wait for it to rotate through the store, mate.
Rip.
Here.
Meanwhile, I'm just getting anime weapons every time, of course. Can't be bothered.
Anime profile pictures do indeed make you play the game better.
Please don't listen to Dust, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't.
I mean, just it's no coincidence. Look at all the top players and what their profile pictures are on Twitter. I'll rest my case. So we are going to see DBG looking to clamp down on this B-bomb site here. Trailblazer comes through, clearing out some of these close corners. They have market control as well, so this should be wrapped up.
Yeah, this should be a done deal. Just dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and crossing pancakes off the list of players that remain for EZ5. Just shy of 20 seconds, and things falling into position as we're expecting. The Recon, or Shock Dart, I should say, nearly nullifies Guck, but it's Will that actually seals that frag down. Nice one from Com, but doesn't really make a great deal of difference, does it? 77 the score.
And, well, the comeback has been complete as far as tying things up goes. Now it's about how much further they can push it, as they are coming into this on a bonus. So they do have 2 full-powered rifles with BR and Poach coming into play. Spectres can obviously still be quite deadly. So definitely still some ways to cause a ruckus. And you feel like if they can win this bonus, that would just really drive it home that EZ5 would have to really start getting it together here.
Recon Dart is going to give the information they're looking for, and it nearly secured the kill into Bjor. He is limping away, the walking wounded, but does get healed up by the regrowth, so he's okay to keep going on.
Yeah, they're going to keep Kanpeki in that close corner position. In the meantime, though, BBG, of course, looking to back off. They've been able to control A main, get that orb. Will obviously using his ult as a replacement for firepower. Starting to maybe think about mid-control here on the BBG side of things. Indeed, they do put that shallow smoke down to cross the catwalk, so maybe start trying to attack into garden position here soon and set up that A-split. Owl Drone will lead the way from Poach here, clearing out some of these close corners. We'll probably spot Gut here shortly. Indeed, he will inside the Nebula.
Tailwind into the updraft will allow that fast mobility to reap the rewards on the site, and it's Will that's leading the charge, but it's Poach that's leading the fragging. Critical comes back with one. So very crucial that he stays alive, and Will takes his life. Ruthless on his aggression, and it goes from bad to worse as EZ5 are looking to trail after having such a vast lead. 8-7. BBG just edged themselves in the lead.
Oh my goodness, man. What a dagger play from Will into A heaven on Critical. Critical will be hoping that those daggers are followed by the Neuralizer from Men in Black.
Just gonna have to look straight into it. Yeah, if you don't get that one, Men in Black's actually a class movie.
I don't even know if that was called the Neuralizer. I forget. It's my best guess.
I think it was.
I didn't really have a way to just fit Men in Black as a reference just on its title, so I had to come up with something else, and that was the best I could do.
I give it a solid A. Thus, you know, it's good job. Oh, Poach, he's having none of it. Kanpeki tries to get aggressive. These are the kind of plays that he was getting so much success over on Haven. Constantly going for these peaks, but he just gets shut down instantly into the head.
Yeah, that is a rough one as Rarkar starting to clear out, be a little bit with that Trailblazer. No follow-up to it, but just creating presence, keeping the defense interested, keeping them on their toes. Meanwhile, we have a double-up here for the defense over at tree position. Looks like it is going to be bypassed, however, as everyone seems to be going through A main. Turret watching for mid-aggression here by Bjor, who is still in range of it, I think, in spawn. And definitely can retap it as well once he gets over here to top mid. Site taken in the meantime.
It's that mobility again, but Pancake showing why he is such a feared Sheriff player. We saw it multiple times over on Haven. And with the kill, it does even the odds, but we're into a bit of deja vu here, thus. It's another post plant on the A side of the map with BBG looking good.
Yeah, and they can even back off that Hunter's Fury if they want to. They have, you know, some other abilities available to kind of slow down defusals. Good paranoia push, though, off of A heaven. The turret being placed, giving EZ5 some room vents.
Give them some room, but that could be quickly snatched away. The weapon advantage firmly in favor of BBG. The positions are looking good as well. As you said, they've even got a Hunter's Fury if they need it, but they weren't required to utilize that ultimate. It's just paving the way with EZ5's Blood on Heaven, and a 2-round lead follows in.
Yeah, the last 4 of the rounds of the first half go to BBG, and so now the first 4 of this half follow. Starting to really distance themselves and keep that 2-0 very much a possibility. This is a big round here for EZ5. They're fully bought. They have lockdown available for retaking. They need to win this, Vince. If they don't, they're going to have to save when BBG goes to 11, essentially, and that will get them right 1 away from map and series point. So this is critical for EZ5.
64% of chat believed in the 2-0 clean sweep for BBG, and maybe they're going to get proven correct. Trailblazer out for intel. Nothing really forthcoming, but I guess not seeing plays is just as valuable as spotting a couple. That being said, though, the Odin in the head through the wall, and Will's going to be having to sit back and wait a few moments to get back into this one. Meanwhile, some damage is done to return, but there's Kanpeki's operator finally getting some success.
Finally, life out of EZ5. They get that nice opening 5-on-3. Great opening duels on both sides of the map. Pancake's going to be looking for yet another. He spots Trill, but decides to back off, maintaining the advantage that they have. No need to really take it much further. And they can just kind of sit back and play standard. The onus is now on BBG to make something happen, to try to pull a rabbit out of the hat as they are now crossing into middle. Trying to maybe put that pressure over towards Market and back hauls. Critical is here, and he is low on health, so if they can somehow clear out Market and take him down, that would get them back even. They could put the Seekers out, maybe make something interesting, Vince.
20 seconds, though. Time is starting to dwindle. Running low, running dry. The comp is still eviscerated. And that is their last line of defense, actually, over on this side of the map. That's huge.
Seekers displays critical. Now he's gone. It's 3-on-3, Vince.
2-play-3 as Kampeki comes back quickly. He is low HP though, and with Bjor having his sights trained to this position, it's looking good. Second player was spotted, but he doesn't want to overstay his welcome. He knows that Rockar can go for the peak. It's perfect crossfire, perfect teamwork being utilized from BBG, and EZ5 now need pancakes to come huge. Gets the drop onto Rockar, but there's Bjor's Odin, and he strikes down with authority and vengeance. There's BBG hit 10 first.
That's so tough. You're already falling behind, and now you lose that 5-on-3. But I have to say, BBG basically played that to perfection. They did everything they could to reel that one back in. Such a great play to isolate this market player. Great use of Seekers to clear out sight and back calls. And then this here, Bjor gets his kill, backs off, creates a distraction, giving Rarkar this timing to swing in. A little bit of a bait and switch almost. And then Bjor set up the trade Rarkar in the end to close it. And we see a bit of a force buy here out of EZ5. It's not complete. I mean, they will still have credits to buy next round still. They're not hamstringing themselves that severely. But it's certainly less than ideal, Vince, when it comes to what they have into this one. A lot is going to be on Kampeki and what he can do with these daggers.
A less than ideal buy, a less than ideal situation to be in as well. They're going to have to play up close as well. I believe that's a judge. Just protruding around the corner. Indeed, Com will have the shotgun by his side. So tread lightly, Poach. You could just get completely mangled here if he comes around the corner. Try. But he has multiple players behind him, so maybe they can get a 1-for-1 trade. The L drone, though, is huge. But in comes the play from Com, and he takes down Will. I thought Will would have him dead to rights, anticipating that push to come in, but good utility is also tossed in. It gives the opportunity for him to get the hell out of there, and EZ5 going to try and bulldoze this one out with Kampeki's Blade Storm. Looking good as they take down 2 kills unanswered, but now here comes the aggression, and Kampeki's been silenced.
He put the daggers away just at the wrong time to give them a chance. Now Spike being planted. Lockdown comes in defensively. It does detain a player on the site, the one who was planting, and it stops it from going through. Now Rarkar must try to clutch this out with fragging power and little time left ahead of him. Planting here is almost impossible, but he's going to try. He does get it. Fragment will disrupt.
10 seconds, has to go in. There's the first frag. No idea who the last player is. Has to stick this plan if he wants to win the round. Out comes the flash, but barely affects him. He can still stick the landing for the plan. In comes Rocco. This will be a 1 versus 3, and he clutches it with the 4K. That may be the back-breaking moment for EZ5.
Oh, what a brilliant play from Rarkar. He was in so much trouble in that 1v2. He avoids the fragment. He goes for the frag up top. And as we go forward more, he captures the Seekers with that frag, Vince, that allows him to get the exact intel on where Pancakes is coming from. There's no longer an element of surprise, and then his aim rings through for the quad. And that is devastating, Vince. That's back-to-back rounds where EZ5 had an advantage, and they could not capitalize. And they are being distanced away from their third map each and every moment that passes, and Kampeki misses yet another opportunity.
How do you mentally reset after the comeback in the first map, after a loss of that stature at this moment in the game? Such a heavy moment to deal with for EZ5, but they're going to have to dust themselves down here, brush away the cobwebs dust. They've got to get their mind back in. Hunter's Fury out. Not really connecting anything, though, from Critical's perspective.
No. Tom trying to defend against this garden push here from window. In the meantime, Kampeki trying to keep tabs out on middle. Timing, though, is missed, as we are going to see Will slip into market. They've done a great job with the feint at A. Now they can start pushing into B site. There are a couple defenders here standing, trying to defend, but they've been traded out. 2 for 1 site taken. Kampeki makes a risky move, almost pans out. He does get 1, but it still leaves BBG a man ahead. Lockdown reinforces. They will be able to get the plant, no problem. And man, can they retake? Trill has such a great position. They're well set up on site itself. They're a man ahead. This is rough.
Hunting the Nebulas. Here comes from the shadows. Duck at the back of the side. It does give intel that he can relay to comm, but with the nebula still in their eyes, what can they feasibly do with it? So much time has already ticked away, and they must know that these retake positions are going to be solid for BBG.
The problem with the information he got was just that no one was there, but that could easily change, right? They could easily change because they're trapped behind that nebula for so long. They can't capitalize on any type of intel he would have gained from that. And even with that parting gift frag, they still have to continue to just fade back, try to save this operator. You can see the chase is certainly being given here. Turret goes up from comm to try to reinforce this corner so he can keep that operator, which he will do. But that's the least of their worries, Vince. They have to win 5 rounds in a row to force OT, to force a third map, and they have yet to even prove they can win anything defensively. They have been absolutely shut out. And it's not just the Will show any longer, Vince. We highlighted him being up near 20 kills earlier. He's added a couple, but you've seen Rarcar come through. You've seen Poach come up big a few times. Shrill, obviously, out there. Obviously, that big clutch from Rarcar is one that we'll remember. They are starting to really fire on all cylinders right when they need to.
And to put it in perspective, Dust, this was 7-1 to EZ5. That's 11 rounds in a row to BBG unanswered.
Yeah, it does have that same scent to it that we had on Haven. A little bit different scenario as far as what side it was started on, but it's the same type of momentum shift as you see Will dashing in the control A site.
There is a fast rotational element that could be available to them, but it's going to take quite a while longer. You can see it, Kampeki's on the retreat, on the flank, but the bomb's already being put into position. The spike, I should say, now put down. Cosmic Divide in place. Now, Kampeki at least has got the first pick of the round. Maybe there is a way back into this round yet.
Yeah, good shock dart as well onto Rarcar, weakening him up. Also, this Great Divide is being put in kind of a deeper position. But look at this. BBG still holding on, Vince.
Oh, no. You thought there was maybe an opportunity with Kampeki's first frag, but now he's the last man standing. They know he's on the rotation, and there's a hunter's fury in his eyes. The door is closed. Every avenue, everything has been blockaded. And he has to just somehow brute force his way out. This is going to be one of the best clutches that you'll see if he pulls this one off. It is so unlikely, and although it's a valiant attempt with a 3K, BBG string 12 rounds together